All right, we're live. How you doing, friends? Ernie here, and this is the final hour to expiration. The zero, we call it the 0-HTE, as you know, as opposed to the 0 DTE. Still suffering a little bit from this cold I had last week. It's hanging on. It's got a hold of me just a little bit, but I'll get through this. So, the 0 DTE, we trade the S&P, primarily the S&P index, on the very last day of expiration. Now, it used to be that you only had the opportunity to do this Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And you might even say, wow, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, that's awesome. Because most assets, at most, have weekly options allowing you to do it once a week. Or some stocks are monthly options. And everybody knows that playing that last day of expiration, you have that incredible premium decay. But yeah, the S&P and the E-mini futures contract also have contracts, option contracts that expire or did expire Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And just recently, they have added Tuesday and Thursday. As a matter of fact, I think this Thursday may be the second full 0 DTE expiration, right? And I'm not sure if both the ES, the E-mini, and the SPX are both on there, but I know the SPX is. So we'll be doing this 5 days a week for, I don't know, the next month or so live here, and where we'll be taking a trade that final hour. Well, in our case, that final half hour. Now, what we're trying to do is we're trying to collect that premium. So we're going to put on a premium collection strategy. We're going to use the analytical capabilities that we've developed here to put us in the right position. Now, we had a trade like this earlier today, and it doesn't look like it just came short of working out. It was in profit for a little bit, and then it ran away from us. Now it is maybe coming back. We only have a half hour to go. Anything can happen. Now we have to decide, do we want to just sit around and watch that just flail in the wind, or are we going to try to put on a second trade and just say that trade is done for, and then see if we can make some money on these final waning minutes. Now, generally what we're trying to do is put an out-of-the-money butterfly, a directional butterfly, in such a way that we have an asymmetric bet. Now, you may be wondering, well, what are the chances of you getting and pinning that butterfly? Probably pretty low. But that's not really what we're going after. We're not going after pinning the butterfly. What we're after is the reward that we can get if we can just get close to the strategy. If we can place our strategy in such a way that it's in the path of where we think price is going to go in these waning minutes. Now, where is price going to go? Man, it looks like it's going to go to the bottom of this LVN. Now, let me just point this out here. All right, I got this thing in the wrong place. Someone had commented, "Hey, Ernie, put that 0 DTE logo somewhere else." Sorry about that. We'll do that on the next go around. All right, let me show you what our setup was for today. Let's pull back a little bit. And this blue box here is where, that's showing the break-even points of our butterfly that we put on today. So if we were to make any real profits, we would really need price to get inside of that blue box now that we're here. Right now, as it stands, the break-even of the profit lines are at 39.85 and 38.91. So 39.85 and 91. So let's go back. $39.85. So if we can get into that area, we'll be in profit inside of that purple area, and then 91 way out here. So you can see that it's the profit area is skewed somewhat from the current butterfly. Now the question is, where is price going to go? Where is it going to end up? Well, we'll generally look at the volume profile along with our current options volume to try to see where the traders are piling up their contracts, and that's usually the point that has the most gravitas for the end of the day. Not always, but somewhere. If you have a cluster of volume at various strikes, usually the price will end up at the highest volume strike or somewhere near it. We also have these green lines. They represent LVNs in a much larger sense. Now, not on this session. Obviously, if you look at the volume profile here, these are not the low volume nodes or the very lowest points in a volume well. But if you were to pull back all the way to, say, a daily chart, you can start to see where these green lines came from. So I'm just pulling back, and so that you can see that. And so you can see that this green line here, it's coming from this low point right there, and then this guy right here. It's hard to see on this chart. But anyways, that set up a channel for us today that price was basically hanging out in for most of the day. And you can see that clearly. So we peg these low volume nodes with this green line. You can see that it has been pretty instrumental in containing price. So I think what's going to happen is we're going to either break to the upside or to the downside. Right now, for the past few hours, or at least since the morning, we have been slowly grinding up. But in this very final hour, we're now starting to give back half of those gains from today. So the question is, are we going to give back all of those gains? Is that going to be the play? I don't know. I really don't know, but it looks that way. It looks like price wants to come down here, down to this area right here. And so that's where I would probably put my short strike, somewhere in that area. Probably 39.90 is a good bet. Let's see what kind of odds we can get at 39.90. Well, first of all, let's take a look at where the buildup is. The biggest buildup is at 4,000. You can see that 31,000 contracts have been traded there. We have a nice cluster of contracts between 4,010 all the way down to 39.90, which would be the bottom end. That pretty much defines that LVN channel that I showed you, those green lines. On the call side, the call side has been much more active today. A lot more volume over there. So it would seem that price would want to go up there, but in these waning minutes, it looks like we're moving down. So I guess you have to go with what the final momentum is and where the market really wants to be. But I'm guessing that we want to get down below 4,000. So what I would do is I would put a strike that would work in such a way the legs would touch 4,000. Maybe the near side leg would be at 4,000. So that might put it in, say, 20 wide. If we go all the way to, let's say 15 wide, all the way to 39.85. Let's see how that works. And we'll make that 15 wide. 39.85 down to 39.70 and 4,000. All right, so we've got a nice risk to reward here of about $140, $1.45 it would cost us to get into this trade, and really all we want is for it to move a little bit closer, maybe to that 4,000 mark. If it moves to that 4,000 mark, we can more than double our money. So let's take that trade. Let's see. It's going to cost us about $1.25 right now. $1.10. Are we moving away? Let's say $1.10 right here. So let me see if I can. I'm going to try to put that trade on. I have to put it on in a different account. All right, let me go back to the big head here. All right. So yeah, I got to go to my Fidelity account, see if I can make that trade, and I'll set that up. All right. So that's the trade that we're going to try to make at 110. And so what we're hoping is that we'll come in and maybe touch that short leg or that long leg at 4,000 within the next 15 minutes or so. Let's take a look at what that looks like. Oh, we're already starting to move in that direction. Already starting. Now, ultimately, we'd love this to move even further down, because that will resurrect our trade from earlier today, but that's kind of a long shot. What time will you put trade? Only 19 minutes left in the session. Well, I called that trade here. I don't know if you were listening, Jess, at the 39.85, and at the time it was at $1.10. Probably you get it anywhere from $1.10 to $1.25. So will we move into that area? I mean, this is one of those trades where you need a little bit of preparation. And so generally when we get involved in these trades, we're staging our trades, we're setting up. We've already done the analysis for the volume profile, looking at those LVNs as the primary range-bound artifacts for the day, and then waiting until that end of the day after all that information has come in, we ground up all the way to the top of that LVN and then got rejected, and now we're coming down to the bottom, and that bottom happens to be situated right around 4,000. So we can let's see, we'll take a look at that on TradingView. And we're right now at about 4,010 on the SPX. Now I'm looking at the E-mini here, and the reason why we're looking at the E-mini as opposed to the SPX while we're doing the analysis is because the SPX has no volume. Without any volume, you can't see the volume profile. You can't mark it up. So, but we know that the SPX is about 5 points higher than the E-mini. So if we were to adjust everything by 5 points, we would know that, let's see, our actual break evens are at 40.13. So that would be 40.18 on the chart. Right, so this would actually be at 40, right there. So we can see that we're in profit here. All right, but we need to move down. So 40.18 is our current profit line break even. Let's go to a 15-minute chart so we get a little bit more resolution here. to go out to 6 o'clock. There we go. We're in the final minutes. Now, of course, a pin trade would be right here, right on this LVN at 39.85. Question is, in 15 minutes, will we make it down there? Now we've pinned. It's too small on your phone.
New visitor.
So Lance says he never got filled at 1.2, that it was always at 1.8, 1.9, which is probably still a good risk to reward, given the spread, 15 points. So even under $2, a $1,500 minus 200, that would be 13. So $200 to make 1,300. That's not bad. Will we pin this? Now we've this is our 17th episode, and I would say it's our 19th trade, but we're going to call it the 17th trade. We're about 14. Let's see. I'm sorry. We're 13 out of 16, so this will be our 17th episode, which is about an 81% return or win rate. We are definitely within profitability here, but it's not, it's not tremendous. It's not bad. All right, so there's, if you got in at, let's say if you got in at $1.20, or let's say something even higher, like what Lance was saying, he got in, he said he couldn't get in at better than $1.70. Even at $1.70, you still have some profit. Not a lot, say $20. And the break even on a trade like that is at 4,007. So we would have to bring this down to 4,007, say right there. So we're still inside of profitability here, and we're still dropping.
New visitor.
So out of the 16 trades that we've done so far, we've actually come close to pinning 4 of them, and maybe a 5th one you could argue was a pin trade as well. It was at least within 5 points. The others were within 2 or 3 points, and they returned spectacular returns. There were many trades that we returned anywhere from 150 to 400%. It's quick money, and if we get that quick thrust into the butterfly, you got to be quick on the draw, so you need to stage your trades and make sure that you're ready to take those profits. There's really no guilt in getting out early either. I mean, right now, the trade could be in profit, and with the SPX and the minimal cost of those trades from a commission point of view, sometimes it makes sense to get out of those trades. Now, it looks like we're moving up again, so this might be it for this trade. It is still 11 minutes left to go on the market. If we were to look at our options chain, we definitely have the weight on the put side here. I mean, you look at 4,000, we have 34,000 contracts. There is nothing comparable to that on the call side. So I suspect that we're going to continue to move down into the puts, maybe down to 39.95. That would be a wonderful place to end up, because then we would be inside of the profit tent. Let's just check out exactly where the profit tent is. and that extends from 39.98 to 39.70. Yeah, we're moving out now. So if we can get inside of that box in the next 10 minutes, we will have a nice winner on our hands. The width that I suggested was 15 wide per side. Now I have this video set on small latency, not extreme latency. So there's about a 10-second delay. If I put it on extreme latency, I could get it down to a couple of seconds, but then it's much more difficult. The quality of the stream then degrades tremendously. Wow, now we're really getting a push up. You know, you can't win all of these, and you don't have to win too many of them. As a matter of fact, you could probably win, 30% of these, and if the 30% were, if, say, one of them was a pin trade, you'd probably still have a positive expectancy. But we've been doing fairly well. If this does not end up being a winner, then we'll have to go to 13 and 17. Being stubborn, wants to hang out outside there. What I mean by pin the trade, and that is it's the max profit from the butterfly, or being near it. Actual pinning, getting it exactly on the right cent, that's very rare. I think the closest I've ever come was within 17 cents. And that was actually on a trade that I made almost 9 hours out. So that was pure luck, obviously. But if you can get within a couple of dollars of the pin on a 15 wide, then you're going to get very close to the max profit. But it looks like it's just doesn't want to get down there. But, we have so much time. 7 minutes is an eternity. Come on, baby. Move it down. So on Friday, one could argue that we were a winner then. We were well within the profitable area for a long time. But on Wednesday, we definitely had a loss. So today, I didn't say take profits at all. So I'm going to say, look, if we don't end up profitable here, we really need to move down and touch that, get inside of the break even of this cyan box, I think, today in order to have a winner. Otherwise, we go to 13 and 17, which still isn't bad. That's still what, about 77%? I'm just guessing here. Let's see. Yeah, it's about almost 77%. But if we can move down here, then we can claim that we're 14 out of 17. Come on! 5 minutes to go. Now, there was one day about a month ago, or about maybe 3.5 weeks ago, where price moved almost 50 points in the last 3 minutes of the market. Now, I'm not expecting that that's what's going to happen. But all I'm saying is that it's possible to get huge moves in those waning minutes. I mean, moving down 6 points in a second is not unusual. Particularly when you get right down to the end. And we're so close. We only need to go 3.5. Well, actually, it's a little bit more than that because we're talking about the SPX. Come on! You can do it! Is it going to do it? Let's see where we are in terms of profitability. We're in profit right now. Look. If you wanted to get out of this trade, I wouldn't blame you. You know, make 40 bucks on your 170. I mean, assuming that you got in at 170. Let's split the difference and say you got in at 150. I mean, I originally looked at this and it was at 110. So close. It's breaking through. Here we go. You better be taking profit, gents and women. It's a minor win, but you know, look, if we can make 50% on our money, I'd take it. I would definitely take it. That looks like it's going to be it. It's going to give it up now. Or will it make another push? We still have 2 minutes and 15 seconds.
2 minutes and 15 seconds. Counting down.
My watch is counting down for me. Come on. Another push. Another big push. Into the profitable zone. A minute 45 left. Well, if it never got back to break even, but if it goes inside of the profit tent, you'll have profit, TNT. Yeah, $1.80 would be tough. That would be tough. What you really need to be set up for these things in advance. So what I would suggest next time is that you set up your butterfly, you get it get your strikes set, and then when we make the call, just plug in the right numbers and then execute the trade. You know, that extra 50 cents will go a long way. Or could go a long way. But it looks like we're not going to be there. We've got less than a minute. "35 seconds. Come on. Get in there. How about a big whoosh down? That would be wonderful. That's a big wish. A big whoosh. Yeah, it's not going to happen. 15 seconds. Now it's going the wrong way. All right, you had your opportunity. Not a big profit, but you could have broken even or made a few bucks. It's definitely worth it because, like I said, there it goes. There's the bell. Done. Yeah, I wouldn't let it expire. I would have gotten out. Got out when you had a little bit of profit. So that was... See, I can bring these comments up. You letting it expire or closing it before the bell? I closed it before the bell. Didn't you hear me say close, close, close? All right.
Returning visitor.
Back to the big head. Yeah, the last couple of ones, we've been really playing it close to the vest. I mean, they haven't been overly exciting. We seem to get right down to the edge of the butterfly profit tent, and then it just dies and decides to go back. The ones that we had the previous week were just fantastic. We got deep inside of the butterfly, and the weeks before where we pinned a few trades, those were wonderful. But these were, right on the edge. But, you can still make money. What's wrong with making 25 to 50% on your money in less than half an hour? That's, nothing to sneeze at. It's a good trade. But we'll be back tomorrow to do the same trade over again. And we're going to do it every day for the next 30 days. And then check to see what kind of returns that we get. Now, I mean, so far, unofficially, I've said that, look, we've done about 14 out of 17. This was you definitely could have made profit on this trade. Not a lot, but some, and some is better than none, and then we move on to the next one. And then we'll go forward from here and see what happens after 30 more trades. I think that you'll be very surprised, particularly on those trades when we pin. And instead of sitting here trying to scrape out, 25 or 50%, we come back with a 400, 500, or 1,000% winner. And that will happen. Happens about 10% of the time to get, way up there. But so far, we're averaging, 4 pin trades out of 17. That's almost 25%. It's like a little over 20%. So that's not bad. And we'll see if we can maintain that. So that would mean that in the next 5 trades, we're probably due for another pin. And that will be exciting. That means maybe this week. All right. Well, thank you very much for joining me with this trade. If you'd like to join our service and take a trial, go to 0-dte.com/try. Get a 4-week trial. Learn how to analyze the volume profile, order flow, place asymmetric bets, and have a positive expectancy, have the edge on your side. It's a great way to trade. There's absolutely no stress, zero anxiety trades because we bet very, very small. We're always looking for those outsized winners. And so we're looking to grow our accounts with minimal volatility to our equity curve with this style of trading. So if you'd like to join that, go to 0-dte.com/try. Thank you. We'll see you next time.